My dear one, before you move your hand another inch, before you allow the noise of this world to reclaim your attention, I need you to understand something with absolute clarity. This was arranged. What you're dismissing as coincidence is actually divine appointment. You almost scrolled past the very moment I've been orchestrating for months, the exact convergence where heaven's answer meets your breaking point. Do not minimize what's happening right now. I have stationed you here in this precise second because the blessing I'm about to release is so staggering, so perfectly calibrated to your hidden desperation that it requires your complete surrender to receive it. I know you've learned to protect yourself with lowered expectations. I've watched you train your heart to prepare for disappointment, to build walls around hope because hope has wounded you more than any enemy ever could. The pain of unanswered prayers has left scars on your faith that you show no one, not even those closest to you. You've cried prayers into pillows at 3 a.m. when sleep refused to come and bills refused to stop coming. You've felt the specific agony of watching others receive what you've been begging for, the unique torture of celebrating breakthroughs you're still believing for. You've carried burdens so heavy that your body has begun to manifest what your heart has been bearing. And still, you've whispered, "I trust you," through tears that wouldn't stop falling. I'm not guessing at your pain, my beloved. I'm not offering generic comfort that could apply to anyone. I have documented every tear in bottles that bear your name. I have recorded every sleepless night in ledgers written in heaven's ink, the prayers you've prayed when you were too exhausted to form words, the groans that came from places deeper than language. They are all registered, cataloged, and marked for divine response. That moment when you stood at the sink washing dishes and whispered, "I can't do this anymore," I was there. That night you sat in your car in the parking lot, delaying going inside because you needed to cry where no one could see you. I counted every tear. When you smiled through pain because others needed you to be strong. When you carried everyone else's burdens while your own were crushing you. When you gave from emptiness because stopping would mean admitting how depleted you'd become. I saw it all. And now, my faithful one, I'm telling you that the season is shifting. This is not wishful thinking. This is not positive confession hoping to create reality. This is prophetic declaration of what has already been set in motion in realms you cannot see. Generational prayers that your grandparents prayed, that your ancestors whispered over bloodlines, they are being answered today. Barren places in your life that have produced nothing but disappointment, they are conceiving suddenly. And what emerges will astound everyone who witnessed your waiting. Locked heavens that seem to ignore your voice are cracking open in direct response to your faithfulness in the furnace. Warrior angels who have been awaiting their orders are being dispatched this hour with assignments that have your name written on them. Your wilderness is giving way to your promised land, but you must do something critical in this moment. You must anchor your full attention right here. The enemy of your breakthrough knows that if he can distract you now, if he can pull you away before impartation completes, you will miss the transfer. This is not a message to partially hear while your mind wanders to tomorrow's problems. This is not background noise for multitasking. I am requiring something from you, and timing is everything. Every impulse you feel to scroll away, to dismiss this as just another video, to let cynicism rob you before you receive, you must resist with everything in you. What I'm about to release requires a womb of attention, a posture of active receiving, and if you leave prematurely, you will not know what you forfeited until it's too late. Comment: I believe God right now. Don't delay. Let your fingers type what your heart needs to declare. This is not superstition. This is partnership with the prophetic word being released over your life. I need you to understand how the accuser has been operating. He has kept you imprisoned through condemnation, whispering that your past disqualifies you from my promises, that your mistakes have voided my covenant. He convinced you that who you used to be determines what you can become, and you've been serving a sentence for sins I've already forgotten. People-pleasing has drained your authenticity because you've been performing for approval instead of resting in my delight. You've been so busy trying to earn what I freely give that you've exhausted yourself in striving. Busyness became your refuge, but it was actually fear of intimacy disguised as productivity. If you stay busy enough, you never have to face the emptiness, never have to acknowledge the loneliness, never have to sit with the grief you've been outrunning. Cynicism has masqueraded as wisdom in your thinking. You called it being realistic, when it was actually unbelief wearing protective clothing. You stopped dreaming because dreamers get hurt, stopped hoping because hope feels like setting yourself up for devastation. And grief, my beloved, grief became your identity when it was only meant to be a season. You've worn mourning for so long that you forgot what it feels like to anticipate joy. You've become so acquainted with lack that abundance feels foreign, suspicious, too good to be true. But I am about to vindicate you in ways that will leave no doubt about my involvement. Every injustice, every betrayal, every moment when you were misunderstood, mistreated, overlooked, or discarded, it will be publicly corrected. Those closed doors you've been mourning were actually my protection from pathways that would have destroyed you. I know you wanted that job, that relationship, that opportunity, but I shut those doors with violent love because I saw what you couldn't see. What felt like rejection was actually divine intervention. And you're about to understand why. Those who plotted harm against you, who celebrated your setbacks, who spread lies about your character, they now face divine response. I take personal responsibility for your justice. This is not your burden to carry. Your vindication is already written in scrolls that were penned before you were born. Type, I love you, Jesus. If you receive this word of divine completion, let heaven know you're in agreement with what's being released. You need to grasp your sacred assignment with both hands. You possess anointing that others desperately need. The trials you've walked through were not random torture. They were calibrated training. Your testimony is medicine for someone who is exactly where you were, and they will not survive without what you carry. Your yes to my purposes unlocks doors for multitudes who are watching your life without you even knowing it. This message, this impartation, this breakthrough I'm releasing, it must not die with you. Your healing is designed to heal entire families, to break curses off bloodlines, to establish new trajectories for generations you'll never meet. But receiving requires becoming a channel, not a container. If you try to hoard what I'm giving, it will stagnate. The blessing I'm about to shock you with is so massive that you cannot contain it in self-focused living. It flows through you to reach others, and in the flowing, you are sustained. Write, my time is now, as your declaration. Don't read passively. Participate in your breakthrough. I'm about to shock you with a blessing so unexpected, so perfectly timed, so impossibly orchestrated that everyone who knows your story will know it was me. Provision is coming from directions you haven't even looked. Doors are opening that you didn't know existed. Relationships are being restored that you thought were permanently broken. Health is returning to bodies that medicine gave up on. Dreams that flatlined are receiving resurrection breath. The suddenly you've been praying for is about to interrupt your normal, and when it does, you'll weep at how specifically I answered prayers you thought I'd forgotten. But you must remain engaged until this impartation completes. You must choose belief despite all the evidence disappointment has compiled. You must obey instruction immediately when I speak, because hesitation will cost you the fullness. The tragedy of premature exit is that you'll never know what was waiting on the other side of your endurance. My beloved, I am releasing you from every limiting narrative you've believed about yourself. You are not too broken, too late, too unqualified, or too far gone. You are chosen, called, anointed, and assigned. I have marked you for blessing that will shock you, and its release has already begun. The spiritual atmosphere around your life is shifting as you receive these words. Angels are moving. Decrees are being established. What was bound is coming loose. Share this with someone in their waiting season. Don't keep this to yourself. Someone on your contact list needs this word today. I am the God who parts seas, who makes water come from rocks, who feeds multitudes with a child's lunch, who raises the dead. And I am focused on you with the same intensity I've given to every miracle throughout history. Your situation is not too complicated for my intervention. Your breakthrough is not dependent on your perfection, but on my faithfulness, and I have never failed. Subscribe to this channel if you want to make this daily spiritual food. Let this become the voice that reorients your thinking, realigns your faith, and reminds you who you are. You are my beloved, my chosen, my faithful one, who has endured when quitting would have been easier. I'm listening for your voice. Comment what you're believing for. Declare it. Give it sound. Let your faith rise from whisper to shout. And watch me move in ways that shock you with my goodness, my precision, my overwhelming blessing that you never saw coming. But I've been planning all along. Your time is now. Receive it.